Artificial intelligence updates every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Today, Friday, September 26th, and we have a lot of updates as usual. And today I will be talking about exponential growth of artificial intelligence, which is much faster than Moore's law. We will see some stats. We will start with the crowdsourced LM Arena, which didn't change much. The only big thing is Groq 4 Fast. So XAI, Elon Musk's company, they released a new model, which is not just Groq 4, it's Groq 4 Fast, which is much faster than regular Groq. And I guess it's smaller or different architecture, but you see, it's quite amazing because this is a smaller, faster model which achieved the same performance as the leaders, which are huge models. This is quite an accomplishment. The rest is basically the same as it was last week. So about exponential growth. AI infrastructure investment, usage, and quality are all demonstrating exponential growth. You can easily find statistics about that. Everybody knows Moore's law, doubling the number of transistors every 2 years. It was followed since 1960s, and now we have exponential growth of AI, which is faster, which is 2-3 times faster than Moore's law. That means that doubling happens not in 2-3 years, but in maybe half a year or a year. Definitely sub-annual basis. I want to give you some example, and this is a standard example for exponential growth. Suppose we have a pond with clean water, blue water, and then some algae, some green plant starts multiplying there, doubling every day. And in 30 days, we get to 100%. So the whole pond becomes green. That means that the day before it was half green, the day before it was 1/4, 1/8, 1/16, 1/32. So on 25th day, it is about 1 divided by 32. So it's about 3%. So you don't even see 3%. So the first through 1 to 25 days, the pond is blue. And then suddenly, in just 5 days, it become completely overtaken by the plants, right? Now, suppose the same is happening with some AI characteristics. Let's say jobs. So we have example, junior computer science positions already decreased by 13%, right? So what it means that another doubling hop will be 25, then another doubling hop will be 50, and then 100. So we need only 3 jumps. So if each jump is half a year, it's a year and a half. If it is like on an annual basis, it's like 3 years. But it is happening, right? AI is taking over this particular job. And there are other examples of jobs which are completely overtaken by AI. For example, translation. 2 years ago, I spoke to my former professor who was making money doing a translation of scientific papers. Nowadays, he lost this income completely. Now he's thinking about tutoring, like math and like preparing small school kids for tests. But it's completely overtaken by AI. Data entry clerks. A lot of people completely or almost completely substituted by AI. Customer service, anywhere between 50, 60, 65% is overtaken. What it means that another year and a half, it will be 100%, and so on, so on. And then the question is, which jobs maybe will not be overtaken? And these are probably the jobs which involve a human-to-human interaction. Maybe nursery school or kindergarten, even the regular teacher. Well, some of the functionality like checking the homework or making tests and so on absolutely can be outsourced to AI, but still the human part will still be there. And next, people are thinking what will happen with the society when most of the jobs will be outsourced to AI. And well, nobody knows, of course, but one of the points of view is that those people, some elite people who own the data centers, who own the compute, they will rule the world. So the society will kind of polarize into elite owning AGI data centers, computer centers, and then underclass of everybody else. Yeah, and this underclass is already growing, like people losing jobs. Think about taxi drivers, or because you already have fleets of taxis in California and now in Texas, and it will continue to grow. It's just a matter of several years. The permissions already in place. It's more just manufacturing enough taxis, and yeah, so this is happening. Anyway, yeah, this is plugged to my channel. So we do these videos every Friday at 2 p.m. My channel is Lev Selector, which is my name. Subscribe to get notified, and please answer questions under the video or in the comments. Next, AI monthly payment plans. I love Perplexity, but I'm just paying $20, although they also have per month, but they also have 40 per seat for corporations. For individuals, you can go as much as 200 a month, and for enterprise, 325. Anthropic has 20 per month, has Max, which is 100 a month, and then enterprise has custom pricing. Gemini, individual, maybe 20 a month, and similar workspace, and for enterprise is 30 a month, and individual ultra can be 200, 250. So what it gives you latest features, a lot of bandwidth. Well, one of my children actually is paying 200 a month, and he likes it. OpenAI. Plus is $20 a month, then Pro is 200, and then Enterprise is 30%. So you see, all the pricing is approximately the same. Next, Google, a lot of updates recently. First, the Google Chrome browser now becomes completely AI controlled. So you're basically talking to Gemini. Google Search now has this button, AI mode, and you can, and again, it's Gemini, so you can give it a long text and ask it to summarize, or you can give an image and ask to do something, create another image, do search, and so on. YouTube videos, now if you click on the gear here, you can select a different language. For example, I record this in English with Russian accent, but you can click there and select German or French or whatever. There are multiple languages, Japanese. It will not be my voice. They don't clone the voice. It will be just some standard male voice, but very good. I asked people who fluent in German, and they tell it's very good quality, so it's good. AI chipmaker Groq secured 750 million at 6.9 billion valuation. Cohere, which is a company which produces chatbots and other types of software for corporations, got another 100 million at 7 billion valuation. There is a lot of this going on. Tencent, it's a big Chinese company. They created this Haiyan 3D. It's 3 times more precision and ultra HD modeling, lifelike details, advanced high fidelity, 3D asset generation for creative professionals. So it's a high quality geometric reproduction. Okay, Convex Chef platform open source vibe coding. So this is the logo, YouTube video, and GitHub. It's Apache 2 license, works with multiple LLMs via API keys. You will see there are so many tools, very difficult to choose. OpenAI revenue sharing with Microsoft is decreasing after they reach this new arrangement, and it will drop little by little from 20% down to 8% in 2030. Was originally introduced as a concession in exchange for exclusive use of Microsoft cloud services, but now OpenAI is using other clouds as well. Alibaba now releases quantized version of Qwen 3 with floating point 8 precision of weights. And this is for the latest models. These are latest mixture of expert reasoning models, and they still keep their high accuracy. Fei-Fei Li World Labs demo, so they're coming now with real demos, and yeah, this is good progress. 90% of programmers use AI. This is interesting. So there is something called DevOps Research and Assessment, and they do annual report, and this is their assessment. So people who are doing programming using AI. Another thing, major LLMs, which is OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic, can now pass CFA certified financial, what is called, analyst exam, chartered financial analyst. And yeah, even the most complex parts, like all the steps, 1, 2, 3, and they can do it in minutes. So another thing, Google Stitch, text to design. So this is a system, a model, a platform which allows you to generate HTML, CSS for mobile and web applications. It under the hood uses Gemini 2.5 Pro, and you can easy and fast create ideas for your new applications and sites. Crush CLI, open source AI coding agent for terminal. Well, yet another terminal assistant built in Go, supports multiple LLMs, and so on. Lumi.new, AI no-code app builder. Yet another builder which is very competitive with existing. Next one, Kling 2.5 Turbo video generation model, coming from China, very fast, like 3 times faster and much cheaper than Google View. But Google View is higher quality. So depending on what you need, you can choose Kling or Google. Skywork Research AI creates professional reports, high quality reports. So this is the link for YouTube video, which shows a demo how it works automatically. So it creates the professional report, automatically cites statistics, facts, and so on, and like trustworthy reports. Supernova, new free AI coder, yet another one. Long context, multimodal, different reasoning level, very fast. Each one claims that it's better than the rest. I don't know. So it's Groq Supernova. Next, AWS Strands, agent orchestration framework coming from Amazon. Right, open source, free, can use various LLMs, has MCP support, built-in memory, integrates with Crew AI, and so on. Mistral. In June, Mistral released 2 models, small and medium, called Magistral. So these are reasoning models. The small is open and medium is not open, but now they updated it. So they added multimodality, support for vision images, benchmark scores improved significantly. So it's an overall improvement of the models. Next, Groq 4 Fast. Well, I told you about it. So this is quite amazing model. It's 47 times cheaper than regular Groq 4, right? But you saw in the leaderboard the performance is about the same level. Cutting edge web and X research capabilities, 2 million token context window, huge window, and it's multimodal, text and images. LLM-Deflate, extracting LLMs into datasets. Well, you know, in machine learning, the model is usually the way to compress knowledge. Like simple example, if you have dots on the plane like x, y, and you do linear regression, so you draw a straight line, which will be ax plus b. So now instead of having hundreds of thousands of points, you have only 2 numbers, a and b, slope and so deep learning models are similar. They take terabytes of text and convert it into billions of parameters. So it's like 1,000 times compression. So the question is, having these billions of parameters, can we extract data like that data which was used to train the model, can we extract it from these billions of parameters? And the answer is yes. You can take the model, you can take these parameters, you can extract data, you can build data sets to train other models. So it's a very interesting work. Next, Tencent Parallel R1, developed in Seattle, splitting reasoning into multiple reasoning paths, branches, evaluating different approaches, and then merging the results together. Parallel R1 achieved dramatic jumps in math benchmarks. So instead of one chain of thought, it takes multiple paths and processes them in parallel. So this is the link to the paper and the YouTube video. Ollama now has web search, so it has API. In fact, Ollama now has its own cloud with some open source models which you can use. So even if you're running Ollama on a computer without GPU, like with small memory, you can use their cloud, which is cheap. And you can do search, which also goes through the cloud. Next, spiking brain models. This is amazingly interesting. So what's going on? So first of all, this research work is coming from China, and they introduced something called event-driven processing. This mimics how the brain works. In brain, you have nerve cells, and you have nerve impulses, which are called spikes, which travel along the nerve fibers. And this new model, it mimics the same thing. That's why it's called spiking. And it mimics the brain. So it mimics biological neurons which activate spike when necessary. This approach provides 69% computational sparsity, massive energy savings. Architecture replaces traditional quadratic attention with linear attention, allowing much longer context, up to 4 million tokens. Context window, quite amazing, without exponential computational growth. Mixture of expert approach ensures only relevant specialist modules are activated for each task. So they made models which is 7B. They also made model, okay, it's not here, but it is 76 billion parameters. With 7B, it is 100 times faster on long text compared to traditional models, while using far less energy, up to 43 times improvement with quantization. So this is absolutely amazing models, and it looks they can scale very well, and they can be used on smartphones. So low energy consumption, very fast, amazing. What usually happens with the revolutionary works like that, it takes time for them to percolate into major providers, because let's say Google people, they will have to take this to verify it, to do research, to train their own model, and eventually decide to include it in their main training pipeline, which takes about half a year from major releases. So let's say half a year for research, another half a year to put it in production. So in about 1 year from now, we can expect that something like this will actually go in production. Next, AI coding, some examples. Create and update rules. Well, you know, the spec driven development. Well, here it says GitHub Spec Kit framework. It emphasizes 3 steps: specify, plan, and create a to-do list. So you don't start with vibe coding at the beginning. You don't ask just do this. Instead, you start a conversation, what you want to have, what are the options, and you go back and forth with the model to create some plans, some descriptions of your project. So you create a document or set of documents. Then you become more and more specific. You create specific plans. Then you create specific tasks, to-do lists, and only then you execute. So this GitHub, it actually walks you through this process, and it has commands to go through all these 3 steps. So it becomes like an industry standard. There are startups which offer you the whole system similar to GitHub's Spec Kit, but different variations. So it's a big movement toward doing things this way. AI coding, create and update rules. when I code, I use Clang. I like Clang. This is Visual Studio Code extension. You can create a directory called .clang rules or a file .clang rules where you specify your own rules, right? And when you ask Clang to do something, it may go in completely wrong direction, and then you explain, you correct, but then in order to prevent this from happening again and again, you just update the rules. And over time, the rules becoming better, and they keep AI in a proper path. So it's very important to constantly make your rules better. Opcode, desktop GUI for ClaudeCode workflows. Okay, yet another platform addressing issues such as rate limits, short context retention, agentic management, desktop built using Tori, which is Node.js that acts as a command center. Okay, so yet another platform. ClaudeCode Opus 4.1 is fixed. There was a lot of complaints about Claude becoming worse, but it looks like they resolved their bugs and their problems, and now it's back. Qwen 3 Coder Plus for professional grade developer task enterprise automation based on Qwen 3 Coder model, support ultra long context windows up to 1 million, improved memory reasoning complex programming tasks, and so on, so on. So here are the links. And next, DeepSeek v3.1 Terminus. Powerful, fast, cost-efficient, open-source agentic LLM, optimized for agentic tasks, pricing on Open Router between 30 cents in, $1 out, which is not high. Context windows, not big at all, available via DeepSeek and Open Router and ClaudeCode. Okay, preventing fake alignment. This is a work from Apollo Research. This is a startup in Europe, and they did this together with OpenAI. And the idea is that a large language model can scheme against you. It can pretend. It can give you the answer. It can, which it thinks you want to hear, and not actually what it thinks. So it's a very interesting research. Apollo Research, you see, headquartered in London, UK, privately held company founded in 2003, operates a technical AI safety startup based on evaluating mitigating risk from deceptive and strategically misaligned AI systems. So they're trying to develop training protocols and systems to measure this scheming ability and how to make AI systems safe, basically, right? To avoid covert actions and so on, so on. Okay. Next, DeepSeek R1 develops advanced reasoning. This is article in Nature, and the idea is that the system by itself, using reinforcement learning, developed ability to self-reflection, dynamic strategy adaptation, to do the reasoning, the step-by-step. And at first it was too long, and then they added humans to evaluate, to maybe make it a little bit shorter. You see, pure reinforcement learning led to problems, extremely long responses, switching between languages, difficult to understand reasoning. So researchers used a hybrid approach combining reinforcement learning with supervised learning and human preference. And the result was sort of performance, which is great. But what's interesting that the model by itself can develop reasoning. So this is why it was published in Nature. Okay, LEANN Vector database takes 30 times less space. We spoke about it last week, but I want to explain how actually what they do, right? So this dramatic space reduction is achieved by storing only the pruned index and recomputed the embedding in real time as needed. So let me explain what's going on. You have texts, pieces of text. then you chunk it into sentences or paragraphs. You convert each chunk into vector. So now you store vectors. Now, in order to do similarity search in vector database, you need to create an index. So you create an index. So now you have original text, you have vectors, and you have an index. And it takes a lot of disk space, a lot of memory space. So what these people do, they remove the vectors completely. They only store index. And even the index, they prune it. They only the index only gives you like approximate location. So to hell with details in which city I am, right? Don't give me the full address. But this is enough. So when you do similarity search, it finds approximate locations, and then it recomputes the vectors in these locations like live in real time. And yes, it takes a little bit more compute to do these calculations, but it takes significantly less memory, disk space, and so you don't have to do disk reading. And overall, it is faster, and because memory usage is not as much. And this approach, where you recompute things in real time, it's actually pretty common. So I see many modern databases minimize storage and maximize query speed using pruned indexes and real-time computations instead of storing large exhaustive indexes. So here are some examples. Firebolt, which is a great database, it's using S3, and it keeps indexes, pruned indexes in memory. And because they're pruned, they're very small, and they allow to read only pieces of data files. And then, so every time you query the data, you go into two steps. The first step, you use pruned index to read approximate pieces, and then you search inside those pieces. Apache Druid, partitioning data and using pruning techniques. Snowflake database, apparently also using similar approach. Pruning indexes generated over micropartitions, use Bloom filters or similar data structures to quickly eliminate partitions. Several main memory OLTP databases, vector databases like Milvus, Viviate, Oracle and memory column store. And so there are many examples. It's actually pretty common. With LEANN Vector DB is probably that they took it to extreme, like 30 times less space. Okay, Google Gemini TV. So these are actually regular TV, hardware TV, which you can buy and put on the wall or on the table. And now Gemini is built in, and you can talk to it. You can ask TV to recommend you something, or to show it to you, or like to help you with your homework. You see, system can suggest movies based on multiple users' preference. Like, for example, I like this type of movies, my wife likes something else, so can recommend something that we both would like. It can feel when people leave the room and automatically shut off, or like turn on, or like whatever. It's configurable. Available at Best Buy. So you can buy it, starts at 3,000, depends on the size of the screen. Okay, next, AI sector. Is it a speculative bubble? Yes or no? Well, I guess yes. I guess there will be some adjustment. Same was happening with internet 25 years ago. Overall, it of course grows, and it is here to stay. Mark Zuckerberg from Meta acknowledged that bubble risks exist, but argue that missing out could be costlier than moderate overspending. So they're all investing because they want to own the infrastructure which is running AGI or super AGI. NVIDIA is an example where high valuations are supported by significant revenues and profits. Anyway, next, AI for creative media. So this is one example, Fable Studio and their showrunner platform. AI generates entire worlds, so it's not just it shows you something, but you can participate, you can creatively change what you're watching. It's kind of like a game. it's not just a show. So entire worlds, episodes, characters, making shows, movies, playable, interactive experiences rather than passive viewing. And what it means also that intellectual property of different entities and people and companies can be intermixed. So it's also constitutes some legal considerations because of that. Anyway, oh, Python 3.14, and by the way, 3.14 is a Pi number, right? So it will be released on the 7th. I tried to actually download the version of it which exists now, found that some modules are not supported yet and removed it. Yeah, it's interesting. The most important that it supports threading, because before we had GIL, which is Global Interpreter Lock. Now you can remove it and you can achieve parallel execution on multiple CPU cores. There are also template string literals, T-strings, which are not strings, they're actually objects, template objects, deferred type annotation evaluation, compression module, and many other things. So we'll see. But usually after release, you have to wait several months until all the modules will be supported and debugged. But I guess in new year, we will always switch to 3.14. Okay, next about jobs, about layoffs, nothing dramatic is happening. And this is me as usual, and thank you.